Yeah, everyone. Should we go from 3? 3, 2, 1. Woo! Welcome to Good Neighbours. I'm Jessie-Lu Flynn.
And I'm Clare Farrell.
Yay!
We're here with Alex, our long and very suffering producer, this lovely audience.
Yay! And we're coming to you live from the Unitarian Chapel on Cross Street on St George's Day here in Manchester.
And this show's part of the Hay Literary Festival, which has been organised by Monique Ruffy and the Manchester Met University. And we're going to have guests today, including Jennifer Reid, legendary folk singer, Ethnic Health Forum,
Woo!
Karen and Rose from Support for Action Women's Network in Oldham. I actually think we might have Norah. I've got the wrong name. We Are Explorers from Wigan. And Manchester Street Poem.
Woo! We've also got the good news. Ooh, there is some good news. We found some. It's quite difficult. Britain's Got Tarot with our local wizard. Ooh.
But first, here's Jess with the good news.
Hello and welcome to the good news. School dinners, mushy peas, soggy semolina, mystery meat. Here's the good news, that crap school dinners are coming to an end finally. The government has banned deep frying sugary treats and sausage rolls from school canteens. Fruit is in, actual nutrition is happening. It only took 40 years and approximately 500 Jamie Oliver documentaries, but we got there in the end. In other good news, Olive Marston of Heather, Leicestershire, was invited to Buckingham Palace to celebrate her 100th birthday, but she turned it down because of a clash with her craft club. Olive, known locally as the Queen of Heather, has a road named after her and a portrait in the village hall, as well as an MBE, but she said, how could I go? I've got a local village party to attend. Thanks for keeping it real and keeping it local, Olive. That's how we like it. The Renters' Rights Act was passed this week, coming into effect on May the 1st. It's the biggest shake-up of renters' rights in 50 years. No-fault evictions will be banned, rental bidding wars will be made illegal, and discrimination against families and people on benefits will no longer be allowed. Yay! £60 million will be shared amongst councils, and road landlords could be fined up to £40,000. A decade of campaigning pays off. Big shout out to the London Renters Union and Homes for All in particular. Woo! Golden Eagles are back in England for the first time in 150 years. 8 potential sites across the north have been identified as their new home, with £1 million in funding secured. Shakespeare mentioned them over 40 times. Then the Victorians shot them all, and now Good Neighbours is on standby to announce that the Eagle has landed. Although there is some debate over who should actually say it, not Alex. Apparently he's waiting for the bald eagle. New data shows tropical rainforests are recovering faster than scientists previously expected. Nature, it turns out, is remarkably good at healing itself when we leave it the fuck alone. Tropical forests have been here for 50 million years. They're literally the lungs of our earth. So the news that we haven't binned them off this earth is very good news indeed. And now some uplifting news from right here in Manchester. Following the collapse of Manchester Pride in 2025, amid reports of unpaid performers, boo, and serious financial difficulties, the future of the event looked uncertain. But the city's gay village community stepped in, raising around 120,000 through local support and loans to help the launch of the new not-for-profit organisation run by volunteers and structured to reinvest any surplus back into the LGBTQ plus causes. Pride is set to return this August bank holiday under the theme, No Place Like Home. Sounds very good to us. That, my darlings, was the Good Neighbours. Okay.
And now it's time to welcome our first guest, Jennifer Reid, the folk singer. She's a Lancashire dialect folk singer, a friend of ours for quite a few years now, and one of the most outspoken singers for workers, women, and people in general. Come on, Jen.
Hello.
Yo.
How are you?
Yeah, great.
How's the Hay Festival been? You've been today, like, singing for some of the participants, is that right?
Well, yeah, but God, I turn up in like a Black Sabbath top with an upside down cross on the back. And then I'm singing to like a wonderful menagerie of religious flavours. And I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm singing about cutting the king's head off. But it's nice to dream of possibilities in the world, isn't it?
Yeah!
Of which there are many.
Not just that one. It's a good one, though. It's a good one.
So we've been looking at your Instagram posts and watching how you've been taking on the far right and all the things that they can thrive on. Can you tell people a little bit about what you've been doing?
Yeah, basically just the fact that people think like the folk scene is this kind of beautiful relic that we must protect, like this crazy pearl, but really it's less about it being a thing and more about it being a free moving. It's a constant practice. So instead of getting all art language, it's basically not like a rock on the river side. It is the river itself, and everyone contributes to it. And like tradition is actually a method. Like things were preserved in the oral tradition because they were useful. When this happens, if we don't plant stuff in September, we're starving by February. And if that knowledge isn't useful, it just drops out of the oral tradition. You don't kind of need to protect stuff that isn't of relevance anymore. But the far right really enjoy a passive audience and a special thing to be protected and coveted. And that's actually not the situation that we're living in.
Do you think in the times we're living, where there is this sort of weird fascistic rise, that people are kind of turning more to sort of like the traditions of storytelling and things like that?
Yeah, but you've got to be really careful that it's not revivalist. You've got to be careful that you're not copying. You're actually doing it for a reason. You're doing this to engage community. You're doing this because this is missing in your life. And that's what the far right, they kind of give you that opportunity of, oh, you know, we can all hang out together, you can be part of this community, but that community fundamentally doesn't stand for anything once pushed. It's just kind of fueled with anger and hate that doesn't really allow anything to build or grow.
Well, that's the problem. It's not a very positive story, is it, that they tell? It's a sort of like, everything's awful and it was all amazing in this completely pretend time that was like on a postcard where everything was brilliant. I keep seeing on Instagram when sort of like old archive things, the guys, when Britain was Britain, and you're like, people were dying really early and they look like shit. It wasn't that good.
And also that still happens now. It's like, it's just the human condition. You can put whatever point on it you want, but you know, like Oldham has been Oldham since time immemorial. Same with Middleton. These like factory towns that are satellite towns of Manchester, yeah, they've boomed and then bust and then they're doing what they're doing now. It doesn't mean that there isn't community there. You go to a pub in Rochdale and you speak to the publican, she'll tell you more about the environment that she's living in and the political situation than anyone in Whitehall could. And that it's that sublime disconnect that people feel disenfranchised, and so they get preyed on by that far right mentality when that is not your safe place. That's just a weird. Don't do it. Don't do it.
How are you talking to those sorts of people, or are you?
Just with a lot of tolerance and like open ears and just thinking, right, they're coming to me and I'm just trying to. The master's tools will never dismantle the master's house. You can't meet them with that same anger. So I just have to listen to them, provide them that space, and then when their argument has kind of run dry, then just kind of offer counsel and support and just think, well, when you said that, what did you mean? Or but it's also very taxing and it burns your energy, but it's kind of what it's made to do. So it's just moving through that world with you know, my eyes open really, but ears open mainly.
Respect for doing that.
Thank you.
Amazing. And what's it been like taking Lancashire to New Zealand?
Well, everyone from New Zealand is from Lancashire. Do
they know that?
Yeah, I remind them.
Yeah.
It's interesting because you have this colonial view of Britain, and my work can feed into that for some people who are looking for that narrative, and it's nice to deconstruct that for them and say, no, I know you think that, you know, it was amazing in the 1860s and we were the powerhouse of industry, but it's all built on a lot of pain and hate and suffering, and being removed from that is a luxury, and it's just more about putting people back in the mindset of humanity. Like, it just goes back to Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Like, are you warm, are you fed, are you comfortable? And then that's what this music's supposed to provide. Whatever you do with your life is none of my biz. But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to show you that singing is your human right. It's a somatic thing that happens in your body. It's not about whatever you think about it from there. That's a you thing.
Absolutely. I love that. And you're going to do a little song for us now?
I really want to do this 1649 English Civil War Cavalier song. Not that I've prepared it.
Love that. Brilliant.
I've just been on tour. I just did the tail end of a tour, the songs of Martin Carthy with Eliza and a few other amazing musicians. And I've always wanted to sing this song because Martin picked it out of a book that was published in 1686 of Cavalier songs. And I think he got it from another source, but that's definitely where I've seen it.
And a Cavalier song is one that was...
So in the Civil War, you've got Roundheads and you've got Cavaliers. Basically, it's the middle class fighting another kind of upper middle class. It's just, it's there was more people involved in the Peasants' Revolt than there was in the English Civil War, and it was basically Cromwell nicking off rich people and then selling it back to them. Who would do that? So it's a really amazing song, but also you can really hear... Basically, the song is called The Dominion of the Sword. It's about when a man has the sword, he beats everything else. It's how violence can often easily win. But this screams Donald Trump, this song. And that also makes me want to scream, but we're just going to do it. Usually it has musical accompaniment, but I found if you clap 3 times, that also fills the gap. And I'm sure everyone in here can clap.
On repeat, or just wants to start you off?
I'm going to tell you when to clap. Great. Don't worry, okay. I've done this before.
Great. I obviously haven't.
So the song, it's a beautiful song, and also to sing this of Martin Carthy is absolutely amazing, and to be passed this song by being able to sing it on stage at that tour, that's another really important thing for me, because otherwise I wouldn't be able to feel like I could touch it, but because it's come from the family, it feels that important, which is just nice. So it goes... Lay by your pleading, law lies a bleeding, burn all your studies down and throw away your reading. Small power the word has and can afford us, not half so much privilege as the sword does. It'll foster the master, plaster disaster. This'll make a servant quickly greater than the master. Ventures, enters, seeks and it centres, ever the upper hand, never a dissenter. Talks of small things, it sets up all things. This'll master money, though money masters all things. It is not season to talk of reason. Never call it loyal when the sword says treason. Balm for the warrior, the whaler, the furrier. This'll get the measure of a rainbow warrior. Incognito, come and sink a rainbow. Presidents will never know, wash a bloody cocoa. Subtle deceiver turns calm to fever. See the pilgrim flay the unbeliever. It'll make a layman preach into pray man. It'll make a lord of him who was but a drayman. Conquers the crown to the grave and the gown to set you up a province, but it'll pull it down to no gospel can guide it, no law decide it in church or state till the sword sanctified it. Take books, rent 'em, who can invent 'em? When that the sword says there'll be no argumentum. Blood that is spilt, sir, has gained all the guilt, sir. Thus have you seen me run my sword up to the hilt, sir? Thanks.
Yay! That's so good.
Amazing.
Like subtle deceiver turns calm to fever. See the pilgrim flay the unbeliever. It's like the radicalisation of the common man because of this violent weapon. God,
I love it. That's invigorating. How can people see more of your work?
jenniferballads.com com, because it's great you've got that up there, because that's a pair of flying clogs. They go all around the screen.
What an outfit.
It took me a while to do that.
I can see why you and Clare are friends.
I knitted that thing that I'm wearing, that cape, and that bonnet, just I fancied a bonnet, but the cape's got all my lyrics running through it, but in black letter font, which took me 3 days to work out, because I just had a hole punch, and I was feeding it into the knitting machine. I was on a residency, but you know, liberals like me doing a knitting residency.
Amazing.
I learned it all from my mother, so you can't touch me.
Oh, so nice to meet you. Wasn't that great, everyone?
Thanks so much for coming, Jen.
Thank you so much.
We love you.
That was fantastic. Woo! That was fun. Let's kill the king. Okay. Goodbye. Right, what's next? Talkie. That's right, we're a podcast now. Can't you tell by our microphones? We're going to try and not be those manosphere ones. Bro, what do you think of the news? There's this new drug, right? And it solves everything. Not really. It's St. George's Day today. Does anyone have any feelings on that? Clare, I know you're really big on St. George's. You've got the St. George's dragon tattooed across your bare chest, haven't you?
Massive fan.
Yeah.
Massive fan. Well, a friend of ours, Leigh Jasper, wrote a piece that he's just published about St. George, actually, and St. George's Day. And it's really interesting, I thought, because one of the things that he's reflecting on is the difference between, like, the narrative that's being pushed and the narrative that people project onto the story and the reality of our country. Also the reality of the actual story about who St. George was. Because if St. George's Day is a reason to wave a flag around and say that there's something ethnically important about being white and British, which is what some people think, then it is a bit of a fucking problem, isn't it?
Oh, it
that
seems
St.
to be
George
a bit of a problem.
Was not from England.
No, he was in fact born in 275 AD in Cappadocia, which is modern-day Turkey. His father was Roman and from Cappadocia, and his mother was Christian leader from Palestine. So isn't it weird that we're sort of going through this moment now and you've got these people roaming through the streets that they seem very married to this flag waving thing. Part of what we've tried to do here on Good Neighbours is have a new flag, because people seem to just love flags. And so we were like...
I do actually love flags.
Do you?
Yeah.
I love this one because it feels like relevant, and I suppose they should be relevant. I don't have any attachment. When I see the St. George's flag, I think football, get out of the area, red faces, and I don't know, that's not great, is it? It doesn't feel like a very positive, hopeful story attached to that.
But the Union Jill is a really positive message because it comes from our history of resistance and activism in the UK, from the Rhodes protest movement.
Yes.
And it was made by women from remnants of fabric as a really subversive move to take out on the streets and say, we're protesting, we're resisting this road building project because we care about Britain, but we also want a beautiful Britain.
Something really beautiful.
Britain. We want an inclusive, like, open-minded Britain.
It's a nicer one than the St. George's, though, isn't it? Yeah. I really like it. There is another St. George's Day being celebrated today. It's St. George Michael's Day. So it's been celebrated by a queer choir that we're going to have a look at now. Take it away, Alan.
To win the race, a pretty face, brand new clothes and a big fat waist. On your crying hands on TV. But today the way I play the game is not the same, no way. I guess I gotta get me so happy.
So, our second guest, on my script it says, can't be here because they're out campaigning for the local elections. But actually, Atti's here from Samosa Media.
Woo!
Welcome, Atti.
Hello.
thank you so much for coming, making time in your extremely busy schedule. I know it's important for people out on the election campaign right now. So you've worked with Samosa Media for some time, which is headed up by our amazing friend Anwar Akhtar. Works a lot with young people and education, but also you worked on a project called Young Gifted in Manc, which we're going to show a little video about in a while, which was a film-based mentoring project to support young people who were developing skills and careers in the creative industries, and creating opportunities especially for working class and non-white young people from communities that don't get represented in the arts and don't get into the media sectors. And I think that's really important because actually for me, I used to be a fashion designer, and it is just going the wrong direction in the creative sectors, especially. Like, it's just one day the only people who paint anything or draw anything or make any clothes or any music are just going to be posh. And I don't think that's very good. So it's a big problem. And I guess the first thing to ask you is, what do you do for Samosa Media, and what's your work in that organisation?
Sure. So I'm the creative lead of the North. As you know, Anwar's work is mostly based in the South. And because Anwar's from the North himself, he's Mancunian. He approached me, and I've known Anwar for quite a few years now. He approached me as a filmmaker first, and he said, "Look, I want to set something up for the North, for the youth in the North, especially ethnic minorities, but it's pretty much open to everybody." And the work is really important because not only is it giving upskilling youngsters in this day and age where employment is really hard, especially in the arts industry, it's that we're kind of upskilling them in the way that we're saying carve your own path, giving them the skills needed to, and giving them the voice that they need as well to talk about their own identity, their own culture, because that's an important thing as well, especially now in this day and age, in this social climate. We can't lose our culture or our identity, especially as being Mancunians and up north as well. It's supposed to be, well, the obvious narrative is always we're the grim, hardy north, but no, we're actually very, very diverse, and it's important that people know this, especially the youth. They're actually more clued up than we think. We always think of Gen Alpha. Is that the new?
Are we there? We've gone all the way round.
I don't know.
God,
Goodness!
I thought we were still on Gen Z.
I thought that too.
Oh no!
Until my class have their own sort of language almost, and it's crazy.
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness,
But we did as well. I think.
did,
Yeah. Come on.
I'm a 90s kid, so yeah. But no, I'm digressing. The work that we do is very important to hear youngsters from all backgrounds who are based in the North. And what we really, really want to do is raise the kind of new generation of these factory towns, as was mentioned before. We, like Oldham, Rochdale, Bury, Bolton, all these places that are not so kind of privileged to be in kind of like what Manchester is now. It's booming, isn't it? It's just like absolutely going crazy. So it's to bring these youngsters and educate them as well at the same time. So there's passive education involved. And our work has been, we've partnered up with the Contact Theatre in the past two years that we've been operating officially. William Hume Grammar School, Loreto Zavarian College. So we're now starting to enter educational spaces and making an impact. A lot of our students who have come to us, they've actually got onto working in film itself. So like feature films.
That's amazing.
So, we're actually finally starting to see that we are making that impact that we wanted to. And the feedback has been absolutely great.
Brilliant.
Should we watch a video?
Yeah, sure.
The best thing about this workshop personally is the people. All the staff members helped me to see if I was alright.
I really like the atmosphere, and the locations were all really nice, and I loved working with this group of people.
I feel like this has been like a really good opportunity as well. So like, even if your career path doesn't align with film exactly, there's still a lot you can take away from it.
Oh, yeah, I think there is a lot of this that you can add to your CV that will make it interesting for like universities, and definitely experience that you can learn for like future things, teamwork, communication skills.
Right, like all of those skills are like transferable.
Yeah, to other things in life. Immigrants in like a whole different country, which is like the UK in this case.
It's definitely worth coming, and I would come again next year if I can.
They seem lovely. How could people get involved with this? Like if there's parents or young people that wanted to somehow join that live in the north, how would they get in touch?
So we do like an induction session or with an application. So there is an application process. Because of our capacity, and we can only kind of like manage like up to say that class was quite the biggest one we've had so far, so about 20, 25. Anything more than that, and it's really hard to kind of handle that, you see. But yeah, if you do have any parents here that want to enter their children into our course, it's a well, we're calling it a film camp now, an intensive summer film camp. To email us, which we can get you.
Yeah. We'll put it at the end of the show. That's what they say, isn't it?
Yeah.
We'll put it at the end of the show.
But yeah, email us with an expression of interest. Yeah, we're on Instagram as well as Samosa Media.
Samosa Media. Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. Keep up the good work. Thank you. So next up, we've got the Ethnic Health Forum, who are visiting today. Ethnic Health Forum was established in 2002 as a small community group in the Cheetham Hill area of Manchester. It was set up to improve the health services of the black and minority ethnic communities in Manchester. And now they're working with our sister organisation, the Humanity Project, helping to get people participating in local democracy. Please welcome John from the Ethnic Health Forum. Both come.
And Hanif.
How are you doing?
I'm fine. I just asked John, I said, take over. John says he's only here to support me. I thought he's going to lead.
You tried to throw him in the deep end. John, how did you feel about that? Is he always this much of a bully?
No.
This is so sweet. Can you tell us a little bit about the Ethnic Health Forum, please? What do you guys get up to and what do you do? Tell our lovely audience.
I'll take this one.
Oh, you take this one?
I'll leave John for the other bits.
Okay.
That he's familiar.
Difficult personal questions. Okay.
So yeah, I mean, actually, I'm one of the co-founders of the Ethnic Health Forum. And it started off as my personal interest around breaking the stigma around mental health issues. This is way back in the early 90s, long before that. And I knew, and I think a stigma exists in all communities, irrespective of your ethnicity. You know, we have stigma around mental illness, and so we don't talk about it. So as a result of my personal experiences, we decided to start a support group. And that's how the beginnings of Ethnic Health Forum started, long before 2002. So we've gone through a journey of ups and downs over the years.
Would you say the kind of general attitude to mental health has improved though in the last couple of decades?
I think so. The last 10, 15 years has seen a shift in the way awareness has been broken down through various projects around the country, and obviously big celebrities have also come into this, from Frank Bruno, the boxer, and many other big celebrities and artists as well, who have had personal experiences of mental health. So I think that has played a small role in shifting that cultural shift of those taboos we have around mental health.
Yeah.
And within our communities and other communities, there is still a huge issue around stigma, and no one wants to talk about it openly.
How did you get involved?
Okay, mine is quite an interesting story. I'll start off by sharing a personal story, how, everything got to me being a part of Ethnic Health Forum and working, especially around the research team. So I recently moved to the UK last year, and I started my master's. And you know how it is coming from a different country. Trying to settle down can be difficult, especially in terms of trying to connect with other people people who come from backgrounds just like yours is very difficult. So I was alone, and I would say at some point started to get depressed, and then I got an idea to start. I don't know if anyone here is familiar with ultra white collar boxing, where you
say again.
Ultra white collar boxing.
Ultra white collar boxing. Okay, no, describe.
I did that.
You love that, don't you?
It's a charity event that you join, raise money for charity, and you get to learn how to box for a few weeks and then get to fight on a big stage, which was something I participated in, and had kind of built my interest in boxing. And now, see myself as an amateur boxer with England boxing. And during that time, being involved with the activities kind of took my mind away from all the worries, being alone, leaving my loved ones far back home, and I'm here trying to, settle down here. So those were kind of the activities I was doing that kind of helped me. Mm-hmm. And
how did you get involved with this one?
Yes, so
you are coming. Okay, so he's professional.
I got an opportunity because I was working as a volunteer with Manchester Global Foundation. So during one of the meetings, I got to connect with Ethnic Health Forum, and I also started at Ethnic Health Forum as a volunteer. I've been a research assistant for quite some time, and coming to Ethnic Health Forum, based on the projects they do, they get connected with the community, try to assist them, like welfare rights support and etc., etc. Those are kind of the kind of activities that I fell in love with because I was once in those shoes, and I felt like, yes, this is something I can do because I also love helping people. So that was how I get to be a part of Ethnic Health Forum. Working with the welfare.
Beautiful. And it's interesting to me because I obviously work on the Humanity Project, and actually just last week, maybe the week before, I was at an assembly next to Arsenal football grounds, and they were also doing like a youth assembly. It's about youth violence, safety on the streets. I've been to another one like maybe a year and a half ago in Bristol. They decided after some time that was the key topic that they needed to talk about, was youth services and also youth safety and also knife crime. It's just amazing watching how many communities have got so much in common around the country. It's not nice, but like we see this coming, these trends and these things coming up all the time, and I hope that we can join people together to realise that their struggles are all the same, and there's lots of good work going on across the country that we can see as a national story of people coming together to solve their own problems and do the work from the ground up. But so one of your ambitions in your organisation, it says, is aiming towards creating racial harmony. So can you just say something about that work?
I think one of the first steps with the organisation is to actually have a policy. So having a policy is fine on paper, but then how do we implement it? So I think we reflect that through our workforce. We have quite a diverse workforce. So I think that gives out a message. So if I'm looking at Manchester City Council and I look at 95% of their work, if they're all white, then I'm going to ask a question. Mm-hmm. Is it reflective of Manchester's population? So kind of going down, right down at a very local level, we try and implement what we try and preach, so to speak. So we try and reflect our workforce by having staff from different ethnicities, so that we can engage with ethnicities. I mean, I find that if I engage, I'm more able to engage with South Asian population. Mm-hmm. Ever since John has come into the organization, if somebody from his ethnic background sees
Where are you
him,
from?
Nigeria.
They are more likely to engage with him. There might be a language similarity, so he can break the ice and talk to them in that language. Similarly, so that's one way we try and break those barriers to bring kind of racial equality, if you want to use that word. Did you use that?
Harmony was the word. Harmony was the word.
And obviously one of the projects that we are kind of engaging with humanity is to try and connect with other communities who are also working on the same agendas.
Can I just ask you both quickly something we like to ask our guests when I remember, which we forgot with Jen. But just very quickly, what do you think it takes to be a good neighbour?
Just like you mentioned earlier, it's true love and harmony.
True love and harmony.
Show one another that you care about them, and try not to be discriminative. You know, help people understand that we are all in this together. That is going to make a good neighbor.
Lovely. And you?
In my experience, and I would like to bring my faith into it, you know, as a Muslim, if my neighbor goes hungry, I'm not a good Muslim. So my first and foremost duty is to ensure my neighbor, irrespective of his or her faith or color, I need to ensure that they have something to eat. So having that concept within me and my family, my children need to understand that. And for me, that is love. Love your neighbor.
I agree. And I also think food is a recurring thing here.
Yes.
Something about sharing food is really good neighbourly. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Ethnic Health Forum. Thank you, guys. How's everybody doing? Give yourself a little shake. We don't have long to go now. Right now, our Clare, you used to live in Bolton, didn't you? That's what they used to call you. And now you're a southern softy. What do you miss most about the north?
Well, today I missed the rain a little bit because it was the most glorious day in Manchester, and I was like, oh, but I used to love the rain when I lived in Bolton. I moved away to the northeast and I just really missed the weather. Weirdly.
That is so not what I thought you were going to say. I think it's been so beautiful today. I've been absolutely loving it. Everyone is so much nicer though. I know it's a massive cliche, but my phone totally died and I forgot my charger. And it's that thing, if you're in London, you have to go in and tell a massive story to the restaurant that, you know, someone's in hospital, please charge this. And they usually be like, only if you buy a meal. Everyone's like, yeah, what's the problem? Sit down. Do you want a free coffee? I was like, God, living in the worst place.
Yeah. But I do miss the north, and I do definitely miss chips and gravy, because the gravy down south is shit.
What's the difference?
Well, you just have to have some moisture, and then you'll know.
Has somebody gone to get chips and gravy, Stella? Oh, good.
we might try some later. But yeah, and my dad was a Manc. I've lived all over England basically, so I've got no accent and I don't really belong anywhere.
You've got an accent.
Like living in the north, and I miss it.
But now you're a Londoner.
But now I'm soft.
Is the Mancunian swagger still a thing? You know, that like Richard Ashcroft thing? Do you still see that knocking about? That kind of like, that thing. Is that still happening?
It's the Manchester
Is that a thing? Anyone? No?
Like that.
Number 1, Sean Fletcher for mine. Number 2, Ned Whipple from Wivenshaw. Number 3, Ian Lickle from Droylsden. Number 4, Nicky White from Didsbury. Number 5, Tony Maloney from Salford.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you.
It does look like they're in the contest.
Yeah.
Doesn't it?
A Liam Gallagher contest.
Right, and next it's my turn to plug the next Fête of Britain event, which is going to be the Fête of Swansea, or the Fête of Wales. We'll be at the Urban HQ in Swansea and the Volcano Theatre on May the 2nd. A chance for the people of Swansea and Wales to come together, to have some honest conversations and to work out together how we can change things for the better. It's going to be a collaboration between us, the Fête of Britain, Climate Cymru, and the Great Swansea community, and there'll be loads of participation and groups, including Women for Resources, the Chinese in Wales Association, Bylines Network Cymru, No Fit State Circus, and many, many more. So the tickets are on Eventbrite, and if you fancy coming to South Wales at the beginning of May, we'll all be there, and there'll be loads of fun to be had.
But without further ado, we have our next guests. We have Karen and Norah from SAWN, based just up the road here in Oldham at the Support and Action for Women's Network, known as SAWN. They've also been working really closely with our sister organisation, the Humanity Project, who you'll be hearing lots about, to help more people take part in the decisions that affect their lives. SAWN especially supports women from Africa who've arrived in the UK to navigate through the system and make this their home. Please welcome Karen and Norah.
Come on, ladies.
So, by the way, you're our first ever returning guests. You were on our first ever show. We're now like so old in the tooth. We're actually getting people back. But you were so lovely. It was so. When last time we did it on Zoom.
We did.
But now we're here. Can you tell everyone just briefly, like, sum up something about SAWN, what you lot do?
I'm Norah. We're from SAWN, which is Support and Action for Women's Network. We do support predominantly Black African women who are first-time immigrants, but not exclusive. We do support the whole community in Oldham, work alongside a woman until we see them thrive and becoming independent. And we do support them on 5 strands. We do have the support side where we support them through their journey, especially those who have just arrived in the country, until they're settled. And we do have a furniture hub as well, where we provide furniture to the whole community, not just the women we support, but to everybody who lives in Oldham. We do have a garden space where we go to do some gardening. We grow our own food, not just growing food, but we grow our own women as well while we're there. So while they're there, it does help with their mental health a lot. They stay away from everything that's around them, and they just focus on their sisterhood and the friendship around there while growing their own food, and they share it in the end. During our cookouts, when we do tend to make African food, which we've grown. Some of it we've grown and some of it we buy. And on that day, we normally just connect the whole community together. And food is everything, really.
Yep. Keep coming back to it, don't we?
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
We should start having some on the show.
I know, we should, yeah. Well, we've just been in your garden earlier. I came to see it today. And, I'm just saying you're going to have to do a bit more work than what we did today, because basically we were just dancing, weren't we? I mean, it was just music, dancing, a bit of watering can. It was very fun, but I thought, God, you're going to have to come back and do a lot more work than that.
I think SAWN, irrespective of what we're doing, is powered on love, fun and kindness. And whatever we do, that underpins everything that we do. And it doesn't matter whether we're in the garden growing women, growing African corn, whether we're singing in our African choir, where the motto is, the sisterhood matters more than the singing, so you make your own judgments from that. But we are getting better. But anything that a woman needs to support her, to make her own journey, to be the best person that she can be, is what we provide. And we have a rescue pack that is a tea bag and a tissue. We don't have antipsychotic medications, antidepressants. We have smiles, we have love, we have laughter, and a tea bag and a tissue. Much cheaper than a prescription, and seems to be more effective.
Oh, I love that.
So beautiful. And when we saw you last time, when we met in this away trip for like training people in like assemblies and stuff, you did a piece of theatre, a piece of sort of legislative theatre. Yeah. Can you say something about using creativity as well?
Yes. Do you want me to or do you? What we do in SAWN, I think we recognise and start from where the woman is. And recognising that many of the women that come through SAWN and many of the people that come through SAWN are coming with a variety of traumas caused by systems that don't understand them. And it's not the system operators that are bad, it's the systems that don't talk to each other. And we like to try and explain it like intersectionality. The women are at a crossroads and they're in the middle of the crossroads, and all the vehicles that hit them could be something like immigration, it could be racism, it could be patriarchy, it could be abuse, it could be poverty, housing. So every vehicle that hits the woman gives her a little bit more trauma, so she becomes more and more damaged. What we try and do at SAWN is recognise that We cannot change the world, but what we can do, we can equip the woman to start to heal in her way by giving her what she needs, which we often say in SAWN that what women need is a good listening to, not a good talking to. And if you think about our own faces, we've got 2 eyes, 2 ears and 1 mouth, and there might be a reason for that. There might well be a reason. So we try to use those skills, and what we do, we start from where they are, try and listen and find out what they want. It's quite a simple process really, but it's very complex. But the systems don't acknowledge and talk to each other. People never come with one issue. They might come in for a piece of furniture, which lovely Jovia here sorts them out with a bit of furniture, and Jovia's skills are that she knows when somebody's got something more to say. So she'll casually take them to where we sit and we have a cup of coffee. And then people start to talk and then they start to unravel. And once they've unravelled and been believed and feel safe, they will start to heal. And in our garden space, we sing, we grow fruit, we grow African corn, we do the cookouts where people cook on bricks, and we eat African food, and it reminds them of home. The people in our SAWN and in our community of Oldham, Oldham's been mentioned a couple of times. I'm really pleased because nobody said anything bad about it. So well done everybody, because good things come out of Oldham, and we're not noticed for that very, very much. But yes, there are issues, there are challenges, but there are issues and challenges everywhere. But let's not focus on that. Let's focus on the skills and strengths of communities, because we have women who are very, very skilled, but the systems don't recognise the qualifications. The systems don't recognise the traumas that have been inflicted on them by the systems that have to do what systems have to do. So we need to stop. We cannot be led by systems. We need to be women-led and recognise that between us, we're just ordinary people. None of us are special, but what we are people with 2 eyes, 2 ears, 1 mouth, a big heart, and we're powered by love and kindness.
Both so lovely. Can I ask you, before we have to wrap up, what do you think it takes to be a good neighbour?
I'd say connection and reaching out to people.
Very good. What about you?
I think, for me, being a good neighbour is being what somebody needs, recognising that everybody's got skills, strengths, qualities, even the people who often appear not to be a good neighbour. Underneath, there's usually underlying issues. So embrace the person, forget the issues, show them the best that you can, and they will come.
I love you guys' positivity. You got another one?
Offering a listening ear.
Yes. There is a listening ear roaming around, actually. Have you seen it?
Yeah, there's some guy with a big giant ear on his head.
There's also a woman outside saying, argue with a woman, with a sign. So it's all the things you're asking for. They're right here in the Hay Festival.
Don't argue with a woman from Oldham.
You should set one up next door with boxing gloves. Thank you so much, ladies from SAWN.
Our next guest is Simon from Manchester Street Poem. The Manchester Street Poem is a co-produced art collective whose work reflects personal experiences of Manchester's marginalised communities. The project is celebrating its 10th anniversary this year, and it began when Carl Hyde from Underworld got together with the Manchester Homelessness Partnership to do something to support homeless people in Manchester. So come on over, Simon LaRue.
Lovely to meet you. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Welcome. So we met in the Aviva Studios in long time ago, 2024. It doesn't feel like very long ago, does it? When you were part of this very first Fête of Britain event where we did this, I mean, it was we did a 4-day takeover of the biggest cultural venue in Europe, or I mean, I don't know how we did that, but we did do it. Can you tell people a bit about what it was like in your patch, because you did a great project there?
Yes, so we did. So we have an aesthetic that we use to tell stories, where basically, as you can see, we paint on cardboard, we paint you know, we put black marks and white words onto cardboard. And originally we used that to tell the story of homelessness in Manchester and sort of try and get that experience over to people and have them understand individual reasons why you end up homeless, you end up on the streets. And then we found that it was quite a powerful vehicle just for people saying what they think. So at the Fête of Britain, I think what was the prompt? It was around what laws you would introduce if you were Prime Minister for a day, and we invited people to sort of paint their opinions onto cardboard, and we had this very sort of dramatic space at the factory in that it was about sort of 50 metres high and 50 metres long, but about 5 metres wide. So it was this strange slither of black space that we kind of filled with cardboard and words. But yeah, I mean, that project, although we were inviting contributions from the public and people that were there, the day, our part of the day, was run by people with lived experience of homelessness. And that's what we sort of, you know, we sort of create these installations, we try and get involved in these works of art so that, you know, people that maybe don't think of themselves as artists and maybe don't get to be involved in art very often, get to produce something at this incredibly high level. Like we say, you know, the factory, or Aviva Studios as we have to call it these days, it's like, you know, it's the biggest like cultural investment that this country's made in a generation, and for us, our sort of merry band of misfits to be sort of right in the centre of it, creating a huge art installation, was fantastic. But that's kind of what we've done for our 10 years is next year, actually.
Wow.
So we're just starting to make plans for what we're going to do next year. We're not sure what it's going to be. We're not even sure who's going to be involved.
Invite us to the party, please.
Yeah, 100%. yeah. But yeah, that's what we do. We try and you know, put on big, exciting installations, and you know, just all get involved and get excited by it. You know.
What's so important about the paint and the cardboard, and why is that your sort of choice?
So that was an aesthetic that was introduced by Carl from Underworld originally. He'd done a piece in Tokyo, which was originally called Tokyo Street Poem, and then when he brought it over to Manchester, renamed it Manchester Street Poem, and that was the aesthetic. And it was so accessible. It was like anybody could do it, you know, anyone could get involved, anyone could write the stories, and it looked, you know, don't tell him this, but it looked just as good as when Carl did it, you know. His version was no better than anybody else's. So yeah, it was just a way that anybody could tell the story, anybody could get messy, get all covered in paint, you know. I mean, we cover our hands in paint, make hand marks, and you know, we've like splash paint at walls.
Paint fight?
Yeah, everything. Yeah. We did one once where everyone had to sort of, we put on like white suits and like had to stand against the wall of cardboard and then people just like
to get the silhouette.
And get the silhouette, yeah. So we did this, and then I mean, it looked amazing, but then we realised that the white suits just didn't work at all in stopping the paint from getting through. So everyone took off the white suits and all the clothes were ruined. But, you know, we had a lot of fun doing it. But yeah, no, I mean, we've like, you know, we've got big tyres and rolled them in paint and rolled it across the cardboard. Brilliant. So yeah, we just get to have fun and get messy and tell our stories, really. That's what we like to do.
Beautiful. Yeah. And out of all the work that you guys have been doing, have you got like a personal story, a personal favourite moment, something that's really sort of, you know, touched your heart that you'll never forget?
Yeah, I guess so. I'm going to talk about a guy called Rob who was on the streets for a while and then got involved with our project, and he's the shyest, most bashful guy that you can ever meet. I mean, you know, he would not say boo to a goose if you didn't have to, you know. And he got involved with the project. We did a big project in 2023 for Manchester International Festival again. And at the beginning of it, he didn't, you know, he told his story, but he wouldn't speak to anybody. He was like always like, you know, stood at the corner and and you know, I never wanted to say anything. And it was just gradually over this period of 2 weeks watching Rob kind of come out of his shell, because you know, the whole big part of our installations is that we want to meet the people that come to our installations. We want them to come, we want them to read the stories, look at the artwork, and then come and have a chat to us at the end. So yeah, first few days Rob didn't want a bar of it. He was happy to be there splashing the paint around, but he didn't want to talk to anyone. And then gradually he sort of came out of his shell and sort of started mixing with people. And then by the end he was like, you know, schmoozer in chief. He was, he was the point man that, right, come on, someone coming in, Rob, do your work. And seeing him sort of like hop up, smile on his face and like go and do all that, you know.
That's so cool.
Lovely work with the public. Yeah, that's one of the most satisfying things for me.
Do you think it's the tactility and it's like fun and it kind of takes you out of yourself? It's not just being asked sort of endless questions by the council or whatever. It's just you're involved, it's physical, it's fun.
Absolutely. And the fact that we use cardboard, the beauty of cardboard is it doesn't matter. You know, if you make a mess of it, it doesn't matter. It's not like trying to paint on a canvas or something like that. Oh no, I've messed up the canvas. It doesn't matter, throw it away, get a new piece of cardboard if you make a mistake. And yeah, it's very tactile and like, the mess that we get in by the end of your average day of an installation, it takes a lot of showering afterwards, that's for sure. But it's fun. When do you ever get a chance to get covered in paint and make handprints on walls? You know, it doesn't happen very often.
No,
so,
not enough, frankly.
Exactly,
I think we need more of it.
Yeah, definitely.
So definitely the fun aspect of it, and it's quite freeing.
What do you think it takes to be a good neighbour?
What do I think? I think it came up with listening. Listening is a big thing, and having time for someone. Like I said, we do a lot of work with homeless communities, and you walk around Manchester and you see, any number of people that are sort of, living rough, and just don't ignore them. If someone's asking you for money, look, I never have any change. Whoever has change anymore. But if someone's asking me for change, I'm not going to ignore them and walk past. It's just like, sorry, mate, I got nothing on me. Hope you're all right, though. That's all it takes, and that's kind of, it makes all the difference to that person on the streets as well. To just say something, just don't ignore them.
Eye contact, just like acknowledging they're a human being.
Exactly. Sorry, mate. That's all it takes sometimes, So just speak to people.
That's a really good point. Good neighbour to a homeless person because they don't have neighbours. That's really beautiful. Yeah. Sounds like you're doing amazing work. How can people find out more about what you're doing?
Hit us up on Instagram, MCR Street Poem on Instagram, also on Facebook and Twitter.
Amazing.
And YouTube.
Yay!
Thanks, Simon. Thanks for coming. Appreciate it. Final guest. We've got Az from We Are Explorers. We Are Explorers are an organisation engaging neurodivergent friendly spaces for the LGBTQ plus community. They specialise in training people of all ages in the intersection of neurodivergence and LGBTQ identities and issues. Welcome, Az. Thank you so much for joining us. So, first, can you tell us a little bit about what is We Are Explorers? What do you do?
We're a youth-led organisation, so we kind of run youth groups and community groups, kind of mainly based around Leigh, but we do something like Wigan, and we're doing a few in Bolton as well at the minute. But we kind of aim to offer groups for kind of queer and neurodivergent young people who might struggle to find the space in the community otherwise. And we just aim to offer them like a safe space to kind of talk about themselves and their experiences and find other young people like them and just help to build community.
Brilliant.
And has that been, how do you sort of seek out these people? Do you go to other organisations to try and find people? How do you reach out?
We do some networking because I helped out at about Easter where there was an event on in Alberton, and we went and we invited Mitch an artist we work with a lot to come and do some rainbow printing with us. And we kind of invited people at the event to come and do some rainbow printing, and we gave out some wristbands and some leaflets with all our other groups on it. And that was a good way to kind of engage with the community, but also spread more awareness of the groups that we have and be like, hi, we're here. Come to our groups, please.
Yeah, we've got, everyone in Humanity Project Network is variously experimenting with different ways of getting people involved in by inviting them to do something creative first, really, by food or making a cookery book or doing some sewing or doing some growing or whatever. So it's cool that you're using printing that way, because it really works to get people.
I know today, because our project with the Humanity Project is community creators, and today we was at Bolton Carers, and we were doing a zine making workshop with them, to kind of helping the carers, and some of them brought along the people they care for, and we kind of showed them how to fold like an A3 piece of paper into like a little booklet, and then we kind of let them design it while doing some active listening and learning about what they like about Bolton and what they don't like, so they can bring that to our community assemblies.
Well, that's so nice. And don't you find that when people are doing something with their hands, sometimes they can just have a better conversation?
Yeah, because your hands are busy, your mind's kind of a bit more free to just kind of talk. Like, I know there was a lady called Elaine there who was cutting the pictures out of an Alan Titchmarsh book. So just kind of started telling me about all the animals in the pictures as she was cutting them out. And I was just like, wow, I didn't know that about field mouse. How cool.
So good.
We don't have that much time, but do you have, like, what would you want in a neighbour, and what do you strive to be as a good neighbour?
I think it's just kind of good to be willing. Because I know a lot of times it's just people aren't willing to like talk to each other or to like make the time to do things together, and then you're not really building community. Like, I also help out because I volunteer at We Are Explorers, but I also volunteer at British Red Cross, and that's just being willing to go and speak to people, pretty much. Like, they tell me how to use the till, and then I've just got to chat to people, pretty much. But
You sound like a very good neighbour. I think you're right. I think time is actually just going, rather than like, oh, I can't be bothered, like just taking a minute and just giving someone your time.
And at Explorers, despite meeting a lot of different new people and kind of people in different communities, to me, it's been a lot of just kind of meeting loads of new people that lived in Leigh that I never knew lived there, and just kind of being willing to just chat with them. It's just been pretty cool.
A lovely person. It's so nice to meet you. Thank you so much. Can anyone follow your work or any of the things you do?
Oh, we do have a website, which I'm pretty sure is weareexplorers.org, and we do have a Facebook and Instagram, but we're trying to build them a bit. So
follow them, give them a follow. They need
Give them some love.
Thank you so much. That's our final guest. Before we go, we are going to hear from our resident wizard. Is that not right, Claire?
Yes.
He is going to deliver Britain's Got Tarot! Shall I get out of the way?
Behold. Greetings, Manchester. On this most auspicious day, the day of St. George Michael, we have asked the cards a very important question, and the question is, what message do you have for England? And I can tell you that the cards presented themselves in a very strong manner. The first card that tells us what has led us to this auspicious day is the 8 of Wands. A very, very powerful card about energy and creativity. It also suggests that there might previously have been much travel involved. A very pertinent card for a city as wonderfully international as Manchester. The second card, which is where we are today, is the Empress. And that invites us in this very moment to be in tune with our feminine side, to be at one with nature, and most importantly, to take time to reflect on what we already have. The third and final card that presented itself to me which speaks of what we might look forward to in the future, is the Magician. Ooh. The very first card in the major arcana, the card of manifestation. It is a card that says we have everything at our disposal for a great future, and that if we work in synergy with each other, we will be able to be greater than the sum of our parts. And I think there could be no more glorious message for good neighbours than that. I thank you all.
He's been crouched down at the back of that for the entire show. He doesn't have to do that, but he's chosen to just sit there. Thank you, wizard.
Thanks, Gandalf. Okay, so now we just say thank you very much to everybody. Thank you to Cody, who's the steward of this amazing building. We're very grateful to be sitting here. Thank you to Monique and her team, who've organised the Hay Festival today and invited us to take part in it. To our crew, Tommy on cameras, Stella on lights and production, Dear on roaming camera, Alex, the most suffering producer of all time, and of course, all of our wonderful guests.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much to Claire. Thank you to Rachel and Bishi, is that right? From Young Gifted and Manc, to John from Ethnic Health Forum, to Jess, that's me, thank you. Jennifer Reed, Simon from Manchester Street Poem, and We Are Explorers. And thank you to all of you for sticking around, for being involved. Please get involved, speak to other people, and let's all go for a drink. Big up Manchester!